What is up, YouTube? And today we're just going to be talking about Lone Wolf Peira, or ML Peira, and if she is actually worth going for, and honestly what I just think about her. Now, just so you guys know, I don't actually have her. This is just from what I've seen from guildies using her, and also what I've encountered in RTA, Guild Wars, and Arena as well. So I personally do not actually own her. As you can see, I tried to summon for her, but I'm kind of out of Mystic Metals and also Sky Stones. But I'm just going to be talking about her in what I've seen by playing pretty much against her. Now, the biggest thing is that, a lot of people aren't happy with her S3 animation. They're saying that it doesn't look that great. If we actually wait like a couple seconds here, you'll see it again. After we see Tempest, of course, because she's the featured ML4 star. But even though her design looks great, there's a lot of people that are just upset with her S3 animation, which you'll see whenever it decides to play, which should be right here. This looks kind of weird at the start, and she barely gets any screen time, right? Me personally, I don't really like it, but a lot of people don't really like the animation that went into this character. And if we look at her kit, you're going to see that she has a very, very interesting kit. So she has an S3 that will dispel all, or 2 debuffs from all your allies, and give them Rampage, which is increased speed and evasion if they are of the dark element. And also will give swift attack to every ally except for herself, which is going to be when they end their turn, they'll get 50% CR. Then she gets an extra turn, and with that extra turn, she can S1, which is a defense break, and this will also do additional damage proportional to her attack. You can soul burn this to actually do an AoE attack, and this can AoE defense break at a 75% chance, which is pretty decent. Then we have her passive, so it's 50% evasion once you max it out. You'll also see she gets stacking attack by 20%, going up to 100%, and also at the end of her turn, she'll give her team 10% combat readiness. Very, very cool, because at the start of battle, you can S3 into your S1, and basically give your team a 20% CR push, while also giving them this swift attack and also the speed and evasion buff if they are of the dark element. So at first, when people first saw her reveal, they thought that she'd be very good with something like evasion units like Remnant Violet, but that doesn't really seem to be the case. They don't really synergize that well. Her defense break doesn't really matter for Remnant Violet because he penetrates defense with his S3. Maybe after his buffs he'll be good, but right now the only team comp she's really fitting into is into very aggressive comps, like cleave comps, or with something like a Bloodblade Karin that can synergize well with Rampage and also swift attack, right? She can actually get 100% CR push if you kill something with her S1, which is very, very good for her. But for the most part, you're going to see her paired with like Bloodblade Karin or just cleave comps, because she can S3, push your team up, and also AoE defense break. Now, on paper, it seems like she should do a ton of damage, but the biggest problem is that her multipliers are giga low, so she's not really going to do that much damage, which makes her kind of just like a support character. If you build her too squishy, she's not going to evade and just die. If you build her on, full tank, she just basically does 0 damage and is just a cleanser, basically, that gives CR push to your team, which is good. But there just seems to be a lot of characters that can fill her role. Now, I do think if you do like to cleave, and if you do like to play like Bloodblade Karin and stuff like that, she is a decent pickup. I don't think she's weak by any means. She's definitely like a 7 or 8 out of 10 in terms of strength for PvP, and also her design is amazing. But I think that she isn't really a must pull, because she isn't like game breaking in the meta, right? If we look at some other banners that have ran here, let's just go into the journal. You're going to see that there are going to be some ML5 stars in the game that have recently released that are just game-breakingly broken. And what I mean by that is, if we look here, you're going to see, ML Ilyanov, was one of the best knights in the game when she released, still is very, very strong to this day, right? Even like ML Senya, which I don't own, sadly, was game-breakingly broken. Navy Captain Landy, which came out about a year and a half ago, same thing. ML Luna, same thing, right? She was also very, very powerful. Still is one of the best openers to this day. ML Hwayoung was kind of a wash, right? If you go down, ML Lua was very good. Harsetti, another offender. So, Smilegate has this tendency to release like super, super broken ML5 stars sometimes. And those are going to be the characters that you want to pity. And I think Lone Wolf Peira, if you're not like a cleave aggressive player, isn't gonna really be worth your pity or like going for, honestly, because she does seem to be very niche. And even though she is good in that niche and she is technically a strong character, you're way better off as a free-to-play player or a low spender to save your bookmarks and go for those super broken ML 5 stars, which might be rerunning the next banner, or they might just release another one, right? So, you know, I think she still is pretty good, but I don't think she's like super broken, right? And because, you know, it does seem like Smilegate does give you less Mystic Metals nowadays, which is pretty weird considering the game has more and more units. You definitely want to be more careful in how you spend your summons, and I do think that ML Peira might not be worth it. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about her. I think she's pretty strong, but not enough to warrant, you know, going all in for. And I do think the ways that you use her is very limiting, right? She does seem kind of counterintuitive with having all these attack scalings and not doing that much damage. But, you know, from what I've seen, she does seem like a decent aggressive pick. Thank you for watching, guys. And as always, I'll see you guys next video.